fishy, 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 fishy. I'm gonna lob a worm, I think. I'm gonna lob a worm, I think. Lob a worm. Lob a worm. Ew, grody, what the hell? Ew. Somehow my worms are melted in here. One of these Yamamotos had a chemical reaction with the other one because I bought like 4 or 5 bags. And then I had Carrie just mix them so we could split them apart. And she could take half and I could take half. But apparently there was a chemical reaction in there, and my worms are all glued together. I guess you can't mix your worms, you gotta put like worms together. Oh well, I got plenty of bait. Mike is over there unloading his kayak with his trolling motor on it. Now we're at Cecil B. Webb, and from the time we pulled in to the time I got to the boat ramp, I already counted 4 alligators. So they're definitely out here. Wait for Mike to get his boat unloaded and get sorted out and whatnot. Hopefully my signal stays cool for everybody. Kind of hard to predict how well your 5G is going to be, especially when you're out in the swamp, out of wildlife preserve. Usually I'm fishing in residential communities or canal systems in residential neighborhoods, but I'm actually out in a wildlife preserve today. The biggest bass I've caught out here was 5.5 pounds, which would be, well, I've caught a few 5-pounders. I was going to say it would be my 3rd largest bass ever caught, but I think it's definitely my biggest one from this lake, but not my biggest one, period. You guys want me to flip the camera at any time? Hold on. Oh, thought I had a fish. I was going to say, at any time you want me to flip the camera so you can see what I'm fishing on or what I'm throwing at, just drop that down in the chat. Say, yo, flip the camera. Sometimes I don't know, like, I know when I used to live stream on TikTok all the time, if I had the camera facing forward so you can see the water, people wouldn't stick around very long. I just assume you guys would rather see the water than my ugly ass, but I don't know. What's up, Caesar? I'm just kind of sitting right here waiting for Mike to, like I said, he's, oop, you gonna take that or what? Mike has a nice 12-foot long Perception kayak, not Perception, I'm sorry, Bonafide. He's a suitor. Mike's got a Bonafide kayak, and he found a mount that allows him to take the trolling motor off of his boat and transport it onto his kayak and it not be a temporary install. So we came out here with the intention, now that he has a trolling motor, then we can just hook static lines up to my kayak, and now we can travel greater distances because I can just static line to him instead of paddle. He can just drag my ass all over this big ass system, because we've been out here many times, but with the exception of once where our buddy Ron had a trolling motor, we've always been out here human powered. And so we've never been able to really truly cover the full distance of this lake because time, energy, and speed. So now that he's got his trolling motor on his kayak, and we came to a new boat ramp. Turns out there's 3 public boat ramps back here. We always parked at the second one thinking it was the last one. So we're starting deeper back here in the preserve today too. So we're going to cover new ground that we've never been in. Fred Durst. Nah, I wish I had Fred Durst money, but definitely not Fred Durst. I haven't shaved my beard in a while because, well, to be honest, I just don't care about my appearance anymore, but yeah, it is getting kind of long. Did I forget my gloves in the truck? Oh well, my hands need to get a tan on them anyhow. They're kind of Mickey Mouse mode from always wearing gloves. Under the cherry moon, pretty soon. Paddle over here, see if Mike's ready to roll. Under the cherry moon, pretty soon. Do me a favor, hit like and all that stuff. What's up, baller? Wanna be a baller, shot caller, 20-inch blades on the Impala. Oh, we're getting laid tonight. Swish it real tight on the blaze tonight. Got to be a better way, better way, yeah. Yeah, you guys didn't know you'd get a fucking free show with this fishing trip, huh? Damn it. Oh, that sucks. I'm not going to use those Yoko's Zuma worms anymore. Damn it! Yamamoto worms suck. Ah, fuck those worms. So what happened was, and this has happened to me the last 3 times I've been out, I used those Yamamoto worms and I cast, and they, after about 3 or 4 casts, they blow up in the air. And so as I'm casting, the worm separates off my hook. My hook has now lost its momentum, but my reel keeps spinning, causing it to blow up. And so now luckily I have 2 more rods with me, but for all intents and purposes, this rod is now out of service for the day. So now I'm gonna have to cut my hook off and put it on my other pole when I decide to start worm flipping, which isn't going to be at this particular moment. GoPro, stop recording. Yeah, I'm done with the Yamamoto worms. I think I'm done playing around with the Yamamoto worms. Just happened again the last 3 times. Got those things on a Texas rig, 4th cast. I cast it out, the worm separates from my hook loses momentum, backlash, and my reel's blown out. So now I'm down to 2 poles. It just happened, my worm almost hit you. I was casting, the worm just went whoop, and my hook stopped, and so now my fluorocarbon reel's out of order. I'm down to 2 rods now. I just re-spooled that line last night because the same thing happened last week on those stupid worms. Because we bought a bunch of those because the day we were catching all those fish, they were only hitting on Seco style worms, and so I just bought those because of the shape. Because nothing was hitting on my Zoom speedtails. And Carrie's all out of Bruco, and they don't sell those in the store. So those Yamamotos have the same shape but different material. They just blow up in the fucking air. So at some point I have to cut my crankbait off and put a hook on here. Guess I'll wait till you guys start catching fish on worm. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Definitely looking at water inside.
Oh yeah, between your battery and the motor itself. Oh, you don't use scupper plugs either, do you? You don't use scupper plugs, do you?
Used to. Probably with this stuff now, I probably should.
Yeah, especially on if you go out, especially when we're around boats and shit. I can put mine back in. My water drained out from when I got my boat. I always use scuppers. Scupper plugs. Oh my gosh, he's under power. Here, I'll flip the phone around so you guys can see Mike and his trolling motor. So basically what he has to do is test it out. At some point he's going to find how much he can trim off of the stock on that between his kayak and his boat. Try to shorten the antenna on it a little bit, if you will. You can see how high up it is. It's like you have a seat at a stadium with obstructed view. He got the seat behind the column. Punch it, Margaret. I want to see how fast you can go. Last time we were out saltwater fishing, we had like 18-mile-an-hour winds the whole time. He's like, I need my motor. Sounds like the he's cackling like a madman. Do a donut. Back it up. Back it up. You got your foot pedal in there?
Huh?
You using your foot pedal? Gotcha. Turn it up to 11. GoPro, start recording. Come on, Sam. Another weekend we bring a kid out here and he's on his cell phone instead of fishing. I can't believe my worm pole blew up. That sucks. I'm gonna throw this jig over here in the weeds, see if I can catch anything. If not, I'll switch to a worm. Now this particular water system is very finicky. I know I said earlier I caught a 5-pound bass back here, which I have, but I'll be honest with you, this is one of 2 lakes that I usually leave empty-handed because I don't know if it's because all the large alligators consume all the fish. I don't know if they're just not in the spots, but this is one of the 2. There's 2 lakes and 2 semi-freshwater lakes in Southwest Florida that I have such a hard time catching at. All the rest of them are pretty easy, but this is probably the hardest of the 2 hard ones. This one in Lakes Park, I have the hardest time hooking up on a fish. But we found out Lakes Park is brackish water, which now that makes sense why we have a hard time hooking up on bass, because they're in there because I've caught a few, but there's also there's also snook and other fish in there. A lot of tilapia in there. Like I said, before we even got in the water, I counted 4 alligators from the drive-in, just driving down the street. Since this is a wildlife preserve, there's definitely a lot more gators and a lot larger gators than we see in our normal fishing spots. Might change baits. How deep is it? Hey! How deep is it?
I think there's some fault line fish line. It's sporadic.
I'm gonna change lures. I'm gonna put on something that actually gets a little depth into it. This guy's too much of a topwater. And I know from my last few trips out, just in general, that they've been laying on the bottom more because the sun's been so hot. So I'm going to go with a jabberjaw and red because I know red does pretty good here in Florida. Hook up the red jabberjaw. Jabberjaw is kind of a mix between a chatterbait and a crankbait. So it has the body of a crankbait, and for intents and purposes, it swims like a crankbait, but it also has the chatter of the chatterbait. So this will give me some depth, still give me the chatter that the other bait was having on it, and brighter color. One of the cherry, pretty soon. I find, for me anyhow, good old standard polymer knot works great on pretty much everything. I used to try to use the uni knot until I discovered the polymer knot. It's such a quicker knot. It's easier, it's just as strong. Good to go. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Polymer knot on a crankbait. Well, technically a jabberjaw. Grody. I meant to put my fish finder on here this morning, but I only got 3 hours of sleep after I was running last night and people threw that barrel at me, so I didn't get much sleep. Who are you on the phone with? Who are you on the phone with? See how he's swimming? He's all, I mean, when you see him doing that weird football thing, that's an indicator that the hook's snagged on the line. Yep. See how he's upside down? Nope, got it off.
Found my spot lock.
Huh?
Turned on spot lock. Working great.
Cool. Where's your kid? Gubba. I'm having bait ADD. I think I'm going to switch to a regular jerk bait. I don't know why. I'm not feeling this guy. I think he's going too deep. Just have one of those moments where I'm not trusting my bait choice. So I'm going to go to a standard. Go with this guy right here. Here. I have a feeling that Mike's going to be more distracted with his trolling motor and getting it to work than he is actually going to get much line in the water, but we'll see. We got a long day. Under the cherry moon, pretty soon. Don't know why I have that rehab song stuck in my head. Having a panic attack in the back of a Cadillac. Let's get fishing, shall we? GoPro, stop recording. Good for you too, dude. It was all foggy when we were pulling in down here. Now, I've never been at this end of this lake, so this is all new to me. So I have no frame of reference of where to potentially find these fish other than along this bank over here. We were technically in Port Charlotte, I guess. Charlotte County, maybe? We're on the outskirts of Fort Myers, but I think technically we're in Port Charlotte. I thought I had a bite, but I was just running through some grass. I don't know if there's any peacock out here yet. I don't know if anybody's plopped any in here. We have them in Cape now. I haven't heard any reports of anybody pulling one out of here. Yeah. Scubba. Ew. Going down to the salad bar. If I don't get a bite here soon, I guess I'm going to have to cut this off and put a hook on since I blew up my worm flipping pole. Just won't be able to put a Yamamoto worm on there, I'll tell you that. Sun is getting warm already. Tell you guys that for sure. Okay, I think I see some activity. I'm gonna paddle down here by these lily pads, see if there's any activity down there. Not getting any action up here, that's for sure. GoPro, start recording. Sorry the sun is in your eyes, but not much I can do about that. It's the direction we're heading. There's lily pads down here to my left. I hope maybe something worth catching hanging on over there. Right over yonder way. That's not what I want that, but whatever. Oh, something just jumped in there. Come on. having an equipment problem out the ass this morning. Something's in those lily pads. So I'm going to paddle over to the right so I can face these and cast on them. I'm going to turn my boat in a manner so you guys aren't staring at the sun as well. Try to do you a solid. Okay guys, I think I'm going to have bait ADD again. This time we're going to put on a worm. So I've been out here for probably 45 minutes to an hour and I haven't gotten a single bite. Now I know that putting a worm on here will probably reduce the size of the fish I'll catch because I tend to catch larger fish on hard bait. Right now I just want to get the skunk out of the boat. Once I catch a few dinks on worm and kind of figure out what they're biting on, and then we'll go back to hard bait since I'm down a pole. I try to have a 3-pole setup. I try to have a worm flipping pole, top water pole, and crankbait pole. I guess what I could do is do what I'm doing right now, which is switching my crankbait pole into a worm flipping pole, and then I guess I can cut my top water off my other pole and put a crankbait on that if I want. Probably be the way we go, because I doubt I'll be doing any top water fishing in the afternoon around here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Fishing from a kayak is like working at the top of a 12-foot ladder. You gotta do everything vertically. Now, this water's pretty shallow. There are some deep areas. This used to be like quarry back in the day. But most of the areas I'm going to be flipping on are going to be shallow, so I am not going to put a weight on here. We're just going to go weightless with a spear point performance hook. And since we have determined that my Yamamoto worms are effed, we're probably going to go with a Zoom Speedtail worm. I'm just going to, actually I'm going to put on a regular size Zoom Watermelon Red. They love these guys down here. So we're going to hook the Watermelon Red. I guess I'm going to paddle back over that way a little bit because I do not see Mike or his kid anywhere. Even though Mike has a motor now, his son doesn't, and his son's only been on a kayak like 3 times. I'm a little nervous is not the word I'm using. I'm a little I'm on awareness mode, if you will, just because of the amount of gators out here and him being a bit of a novice. Good news is, if he gets himself in a pickle, Mike can get to him quicker with that motor. That being said, I still want to keep him within view, especially after the Lake Kissimmee incident last week, where that lady fell out of her. I don't know. It's like the story's weird. Some news reports, in the same report, they'll use the word kayak and canoe, which are 2 different things. Canoes are very top heavy, and canoes are easy to fall out of. Kayaks are harder to fall out of and not top heavy at all. They're saying her and her husband were canoeing and went over a gator, and the gator buckled or jumped, and somehow that resulted in her falling out of her boat. Not speaking ill of the dead, but I have a feeling they weren't exactly, and I could be wrong, but I don't think they were probably habitual anglers who are out on a canoe a lot. But anyhow, she fell out of the canoe, landed on the gator. The gator does what gators do. Sadly, she did not come out of the lake alive. So, now, knowing that we're out here in a wildlife preserve, I have seen some 8-foot gators out here. I just keep that in the back of my mind. Ew, he's standing up on his boat now. Okay, there's a little pocket back here. I'm gonna paddle over here though in this little pocket and see if there's anything in there. Only thing I can see right now with his trolling motor on the front of his boat, because he's got the full height of the stock of his post on there, because he's swapping between his standard boat and his kayak. So he has like, I don't know, 4 feet of stem poking up the top of his boat. If he hooks up on a large fish and that thing starts swimming sporadically on the front of his boat, I can see his line getting wrapped around that and potentially losing a big fish. But see what happens. Morgan Long, are you in here? Say something if you are. Is that shaft completely replaceable? You could just buy a second one to make it shorter? Instead, well, my only concern is you get hooked up on a big ass bass and he starts taking for a sleigh ride and goes around the front of your boat and get wrapped around on that shaft.
Well, I mean, if I need to, I mean, that would happen in saltwater too.
Yeah, I know, but in saltwater you don't have 5 feet of post above the deck of your boat.
True. That was also why my plan is to set it on the boat, take the boat out, and see where it sits. Because I don't go offshore, so I shouldn't be bouncing real heavy. And it only needs to be at a minimum 12 inches under the water line of the boat.
Yeah.
So,
well, I was just thinking if it's...
that out, then I can figure out how much I actually need for the boat.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's sitting almost all the way down on the boat, I'm fine with it.
Well, I didn't know if you could swap that post out in 15 minutes, you use your kayak more than you do your boat, you could just buy a second one, shorten it, and then the day comes, use your boat, take the 15 minutes to swap the post out, and you got to worry about all of it.
That's a possibility.
Because you use your kayak way more than you do your boat.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm assuming the threads on this thing would be sealed somehow, and...
I don't know, would it need to be? It's marine grade wire.
Oh no, the threads on the shaft where the motor is.
Oh.
That would be my only concern, really.
That's true.
Damn. Come on.
I'm having bait ADD now that I'm down to 2 poles. I haven't got...
Bait fish right there.
Huh?
Bait fish just swimming by us.
So I haven't gotten a bite yet.
Nothing?
No. Not a pinata. I just went back to worm after my worm pole blew up.
I mean, part of my purpose for coming out here and doing this today was really just test the motor.
Yeah.
I did want to see if we could...
Still be nice to catch something.
Obviously, fish.
Other than a case of chlamydia.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to put some scuppers back in here. While I'm standing, it definitely fills up a little bit with water. Not a lot, just enough to kind of keep the floor wet.
Yeah, I think I got mine on Amazon for pretty cheap.
I did too, and I had those the cone style ones, but they're real hard.
Yeah, they pop out.
Yeah.
I like mine. Mine have those ridges on them.
Yeah. I'll probably do that.
I mean, mine get hard too, but I never take them out. So, but like the cone ones tend to pop out through friction. Where these have ridges, they almost lock in. You really got to put some pressure to pull these out. Yeah. Yeah, I found apparently when we bought those Yamamotos, even before today, they're blowing up on me, but we bought like 4 or 5 different colors. I had to carry mix them into 2 bags. So apparently one of them had a chemical reaction with the rest of them. They all melted.
I know Z-Man does that.
Well, I know one of those pack worms I bought, they're made out of completely different material.
Right.
Something just jumped in front of you at 12 o'clock. You throwing a frog?
No.
Oh, you got like a bandito bug on the back of it or something?
Something similar to it.
Under the cherry moon. Somebody called me Fred Durst on YouTube.
Huh?
Some kid's like, what's up, Fred Durst?
They called you that?
Yeah, on my old YouTube.
Oh, your fucking hat.
Because my gray beard. Because Fred Durst has a big gray beard now. Hey, you went to the salad bar. This water's only like 3 feet. This water's not very deep. I had a crankbait on, and every retrieve I was just scubbing out, so I put a jerkbait on. Didn't get any hits on it, so then I cut it off, put a worm on.
Yeah, I think I need to change out the jig, because I think it's excessively big.
It's heavy too.
Huh?
It's heavy.
Yeah. I think it's a 1/2 ounce jig. which I don't want. Probably go to a quarter ounce because we're getting in the summer.
Ooh, it's hot. It's gonna be a warm one, boys. On a cherry moon, pretty soon. I brought my.
Trying to see what my battery is still at 100%.
I mean, if you're wanting to post up here a minute, I'll just pull my drone out and get my drone footage out of the way.
What?
I said, if you're wanting to post up for a few minutes, I'll just get my drone out and go ahead and get my drone footage out of the way.
If you want to, I don't care. I gotta change out the station quick. It still says my battery's at 100%. 109.53 amp hours remaining.
What if you could run that thing off a Jackery?
Control motor?
Yeah. You can run a refrigerator off of one.
Yeah, because of power inverter. And I don't know if
No, Jackery, well, I guess it'd have an inverter built into it. It's just a battery
also
pack.
Depends on the voltage, too.
Yeah. Yeah, you got lucky. It's because I just watched it spin and like it doesn't clip the front of your boat.
What?
I could see the head moving, and when you spun it, you got about an inch before the bow of your boat, so you actually, it's on there pretty good. The bullet,
the prop?
yeah, the shape of the front.
Yeah.
Did you put, what'd you do, put carriage bolts with lock washers on that plate?
That?
Yeah, the plate.
No, I did it the way that the manufacturer told me to do it. There's something chasing the beast with it.
Sure is. GoPro, stop recording. Did you say throw top water?
I mean, they're getting top water. I mean, yeah. Once you got them, you can throw top water.
I got a whopper plopper on here.
There you go. Toss that out there.
Hold on, I gotta get fed up. GoPro, start recording. Who's got sunscreen on? Jesus.
Huh?
So who just put sunscreen on?
Sandy.
I can smell it.
He doesn't have pants or a long sleeve shirt, so we need to find something.
Yeah. Whopper plopper. Yeah. We just saw something chasing something right here. Hopefully it's still around. I just threw my whopper plopper. It took me a little long to get my pulse switched out because my worm kept coming off my other one. I really wouldn't expect to throw my top water. Let's see what happens. Come on, where'd you go? It's right over here in this area. Got these little pads. Might circle around and come back at it. I want to turn the boat around and hold on, I think they're over here. Usually they don't move that quickly far away from where they're hitting on, unless they're really chasing after somebody. turn the boat around. Go the other way. Kind of like right on the spot they were in. Paddle out here and turn around, get the sun out of y'all's eyes. Actually, the sun's gonna be back in your eyes when I turn my boat around. When I'm turning the camera, you guys are facing me. Get the sun out of your eyes. Come on, Whopper Plopper, get a fish. This is the new miniature Guggen revolver. It's smaller than the one I usually throw. Okay, I'm gonna go run a worm back through these, what I like to call asparagus stalks. See if there's anything laying up back here. GoPro, stop recording. Just jumped right up these lily pads. Seeing some action, just gotta get on them. See what is over here. GoPro, start recording. Over here up these lily pads. Okay, I'll go back to plan A, which was to go fish those stalks across the water here. Got a big, probably about, I'd say, a good 20 yards, maybe 15 yards of grasses here. I'm gonna stand up and sight fish and throw back in there. How deep is this water? It's like 2 feet deep. I could actually put my anchor stick out so I can just stay here. Water's so shallow. Right over here. Fishy. Come on, Fishy, where you at? I had a nibble. I had a nibbler. Nibbler. Of course, my boat's not facing the way I want it to right now. I know the boat rocks a lot when I stand up. I do apologize. I'll sit down. I apologize. Get that reference. You've been around a while. Oh, I do have my gloves with me. I do have my gloves. Put those bad boys on. so my hands don't get sunburnt. When you fish as much as we do on kayak, try to stay out of the sun as much as possible so you don't look like you're 70 when you're 50. Only problem is when I go to work I have Mickey Mouse hands because the little gap between my sleeves and my gloves, I get a tan line, so then my hands look like real white. Last time I wore these was in salt water. They're so stiff and icky. Stiff and icky? Some of that stiff and icky. Ooh, wait. Okay, I'm gonna pull up my anchor stick. We're gonna move to a different spot because there ain't shit here. I've proven that fact. How did I pull that off? Somehow, my anchor stick's on the other side of my boat. Well, crap. I didn't even pull that off. Whatever. I'll have Mike grab it here in a minute. So somehow the rope on my anchor stick. No. I almost lost my damn net. Go over here and request some help. I need some help. GoPro, stop recording. Hey fella, can you help a brother out? Somehow my anchor line, I believe, I can't see it clearly, I think it somehow got wrapped around the tenement clip that holds my rudder on. So if you could reach down there and just... Big boy. That's a big gator. You guys see him? That's a big boy. That's some shallow water too. See it? No, my line. See how it trapped around? You guys see the gator out there? Where's he at? Where would he be for you guys? Did you get it? There he is. I can't zoom in any further. He's that log looking thing. Right there. See that log swimming towards the shoreline? That's a big boy. Thank you, sir. Was I correct? Was it wrapped around that clip? Certainly was. The hell was that? See that? You just attracted the gator over here. He went underwater. Now he's heading this way. Thinks you're a cow giving birth. It's called big old son of a bitch. You stay over yonder, we'll stay over here, and we'll get along. You've probably seen us. Usually when a gator sees human, they hide. They don't even want to fuck with you. Unless you're near their nest or their babies, and they get all defensive. Let's go over here in this grass, see if we can find us a bass. GoPro, start recording. He comes back up, and if we're here a while, I might put my drone on him just to see how big he is. He went underwater, not that there's a whole place to go. This water's only 2 feet deep. Gotta fix that Texas rig, Texas rig, Texas rig. Can't get enough super golden crisp. See that right out in front of you, or is that your cast? Huh? See him feeding out there? See if I can get my top water out that far. Time to get my pole switched out, I'll be done feeding again. Get one? Well, you're fast retrieving. I thought you hooked up on one. Didn't quite get the distance. Oh, didn't put my rudder back in the water after I got my line off of it. Oh, couldn't steer. Now I can steer again. I'm like hitting my rudder, nothing's happening. Every time I see him hit, I don't have my top water pole in my hand. Boy, it's getting warm. It's getting warm. Hallelujah. Having a panic attack in the back of the Cadillac. Like I was saying this morning, this place is one of the harder places to catch a fish. It's 9 o'clock and I ain't caught a damn thing. I've been out here since about 8:30. No, about 8 probably. I see some more lily pads over there. I'm gonna go to a new spot. Go back to worm flipping. Get excited because I see something hitting on top water and I throw and I don't get a bite. Well guys, I'm gonna hop off here because I need to use my phone to run my drone to get some footage for my YouTube channel. As soon as that way if I actually do catch some fish, I have some B-roll. So I'll be back.